Guys, Dan Hendriksen here. We're at Torquay Golf Club and today we're going to be reviewing the new 2021 Phantom X 5 and 5.5 putters. Just been released on the market from Scotty Cameron, and I wanted to put them through their paces today using the Sam Putt Lab, using James Urquhart, our head coach here at Torquay Golf Club, just to give us an idea on what they look like, what they feel like for me personally, and how they're performing. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's catch up with James and see how these putters are working for me. So it's probably slightly confusing release of the 2021 Phantom range. And the reason I say that is because in 2019, Scotty Cameron released the Phantom X range, which was a release of 9 putters that Scotty was saying that they had technically advanced their putting, taking it to new levels, using different materials in order to create different weights and different sounds. Well, what we've got here now is the next kind of generation, but not releasing all of them at the same time. These have kind of come to us from tour experiences with players giving feedback to Scotty Cameron. And one of the most popular putters is this 5 or 5.5 head. And Justin Thomas had a massive influence in how Scotty Cameron has created it. He created a prototype putter for Justin Thomas, where lots and lots of top amateurs and professional golfers asked Scotty to release that putter because it was obviously something that they were liking the look of. And that's what Scotty's done. He's released a new 5 and a 5.5 putter, which is what we're seeing here today. And the big noticeable difference with these two putters is going to be in the necks. We've got the 5, which has got the slight bend in the neck, and then we've got the 5.5, which is the Justin Thomas one, which has got that really short bend in the neck. Both of these producing two types of putting actions as such, is what Scotty's saying. So if you want something with a little bit more sort of face balance, then you're going to be looking at the 5. But if you're looking for a little bit more what he calls toe flow, then the 5.5 is going to be the one you want to look at. James, tell me a little bit about the specs on both the 5 and the 5.5 putters that we've got here today.
Yeah, so like we said, the 5 and the 5.5 are similar. Well, they're the same in the head, just different shafts.
Yes.
So if we start with the lie and the loft in both of them, they're set standard at 70 degrees lie.
Yes.
And they're set standard at 3.5 in loft. So it's adjustable in loft by 1 degree for the both of them,
yep,
and by 2 degrees in lie either way.
Okay, and that's all custom fittable, isn't it?
That's all custom fittable at the custom shop.
Yes, yeah. Perfect.
If we go into the ports on the sole, the weight adjustables, we've got 10, 15 and 20 gram adjustable weights in the port. The 10 gram is for the longer shafts, that'll be for the 35 inch, and then it goes in increments, the 34 inch being a 15 gram, and then the 33 inch being a 20 gram. So it evens out the weight, distributes it nicely.
Yep.
Obviously, this is the most important part, or the most important difference, as we've spoken about, between these two putters, is the mid bend in the 5.0 creates a face balance effect, yep, on the club, and then we've got the small slant neck on the 5.5, which creates, as you mentioned before, the slight toe hang, or toe flow as they like to call it. Moving into the grips, we've got a slightly different grip from the Select range. We've got the Pistolero Plus.
Okay, but that's the same as what we had in the original Phantom X.
Phantom 2019 range, that's correct, yeah.
Which I really love that grip, because it gives you something nice and solid to hold on to at the top.
At the top, yeah, exactly, yeah. Whether you're left below right, right below left, it's got a nice feel with your lead hand, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely does.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this grip here.
So it starts off quite thick and then works its way into a kind of a thinner kind of look at the bottom of the grip, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, and then when it comes into customing these clubs, how much can we move the actual length of them? So we've said about the 33s and 34s and 35s, but they are also manoeuvrable by half, aren't they?
That's right, yeah. You can move them in ½ inches, depending on, for me personally as a fitter, it'd be dependent on how they're striking it.
Yes.
For most people that I fit, it will be 33, 34, 35, but it's nice that you've got that option.
Yeah, and those weight ports at the bottom there, again, there's options there, isn't there? As in, you don't have to stick to a 20 gram weight that's going to go in a 33. I mean, you could put the 20 gram weight in a 35 if you really wanted to. It just depends on what you kind of want to feel. If you want a bit more weight down there, you can put it in there if you want. Exactly. Everyone's different. I think having these customizing options is kind of what can set it apart on the market. Yeah. Everyone likes a different feel to a putter. Me and you both know that. We'll pick up putters. Something I like the feel of off the face, you might not. Some people like like you were saying earlier, a thuddy sound. Well, as you've said, a lot of tour players like that thuddy feeling off the face. Yeah. Yeah, and it goes the same right into the amateur game as well. So we're seeing a little bit of difference coming from the 5.5 and the original Phantom X, which is this one I've got in my hand now, going into the new, what I call the Justin Thomas version. So this is the original 5.5 that they released back in 2019, and this is now the new one that's just come out now. And you can see when you look at the necks, they are slightly different. We're also getting a slight difference on the top of the head as well. We've got 3 dots to line up the old 5.5, and now we've got the straight line that sits on the top rail of the new 5.5. And also, what is the big noticeable difference is the material that they're using, certainly across the face of the putter, whereas in the new one they've got now a stainless steel, and in the old one they're using what they call their aerospace version. It's like an aluminium material they've been using, and we're getting massively different feels and acoustics off the face. So the old 5.5, the feel off the face is quite tinny in its feel, in its sound, whereas the new 5.5 with the stainless steel that's wrapped around it is very much a thuddier, duller sound or feel off the face. Now I can only base this off what we're getting for drivers. Lots of tour players over the years, they like to get a sound of more of a thuddier feel off the face, and maybe that's what we're kind of getting a sense from what Tour has told Scotty Cameron what they want to hear, compared to maybe what they were getting out of the old Phantom X. Definitely a softer, tinnier feel off the face of the old Phantom to now more of a thuddier, duller feel off the new Phantom X. Right, James, 5 and 5.5 putter, how is it performing for me personally? I should start to see a little bit more rotation at the 5.5, which is what Scotty Cameron would tell us. Are we seeing that from a rotational point of view? Am I seeing more rotation from the 5.5 over the 5? You are, yeah. You're seeing a degree of total rotation more with the 5.5. Okay. And you're actually seeing a degree of rotation more on the way back. So this is the 5.5, so with that slightly squatter neck, should we say, a little bit more toe hang is giving me a little bit more rotation on the way back, and total rotation it's increasing as well. Yeah, it is working like that for you. Okay. And like we've tested in the past, it does affect people in different ways, but for you it's working, shall we say, by the book. Right, so out of both these putters, which one overall would you say performs the best for me? Consistency is very similar. Is it? Yeah, I would say marginally by a hair, the 5.5, and the fact that you said to me that you prefer the 5.5, I prefer the look of it, yeah. I've got to say, I do prefer the look of it. I think I would be popping you in the 5.5. Yeah, which is what is interesting is when you, and we did another video recently, which was the Newport 2.5, which had a very similar neck to this, didn't it? It did, yeah. And I said in that video that I even though it was performing, you said it was performing possibly slightly better than my Newport 2, I didn't like it because I didn't like the neck. However, in this head, this jumps out to me the best looking head out of the two of them, as in the best looking putter out of the two of them. I would absolutely go for the 5.5 over the 5. And even though I didn't like the neck in the 2.5,
it's interesting, isn't it?
I love it in this one.
How a different head can maybe change your mind on the way the shaft looks.
Absolutely.
Going into it. Personally, for me, I prefer the 5.5 also. With regards to the shaft moving into the neck, I find it quite subtle.
Yes, it is subtle. That's exactly what it is. It's quite quiet, and maybe because of the size of the head, that is not quite in your eye line quite as much.
Yeah. It's not
what is
really
interesting, and something I didn't talk about before, which Scotty Cameron has talked about as well, is that this neck, certainly in this 5.5, they've used it to line the putter up as well, as in to line your ball up towards the target.
Yeah.
It's an aid that some players like to use the neck to line the ball up, whereas some people like to use the top rail or the line on the top rail. Some people, like Tiger Woods, we've talked about that in another video that we've done, Tiger Woods will use the neck of the putter to help line his ball up towards the target. And that's what they've done with this one as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think, again, it's really personal preference on who it works for, which is why you've got such a selection in the Phantom range.
Yeah.
There's not one size fits all.
There really isn't, no. So there you go, there's a little insight into our review of the new 2021 Phantom X 5 and 5.5 putters. I've got to say, I am actually really happy that they have released this putter. I think it's the feel off the face, I think it's absolutely superb, possibly just a fraction nicer than what we were getting out of the previous Phantom X. But this 5.5 for me is the absolute winner.
It's a nice compact model, isn't it?
Absolutely, love the look of it. I love the top line on the top rail there.
Yeah.
I think that just really, really works. I love the fact that we've gone down the JT, Justin Thomas neck in it, giving a little bit more toe flow, which I really, really like. And I know those numbers were quite good from the Sam side of things, but I just think it's an absolute winner, this putter. I really, really do. I think it's gonna sell really, really well out there. And I definitely think both of these putters are worth a test. If you're in the market and looking for a new Scotty Cameron putter or any type of putter, then definitely put these on the list and go and get fitted properly with someone like James. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and big thanks to James obviously for helping out as well, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next video.